This is Sam Bankman-Fried. People call him SBF. He's the founder of FTX. He also controlled a crypto hedge fund called Alameda Research, but that's all gone now. He wants you to think he's this sweet guy. He even brought in a famous YouTuber who called him the most generous man in the world. Yep, that happened. Truth is, Sam Bankman-Fried is a liar and a crook. His personal crypto, FTX token, was basically a Ponzi scheme hidden below layers of Moonbro jargon. He even went on Bloomberg's podcast and bragged about it. Yep, that happened. He used his Ponzi token as collateral to borrow billions of real dollars that he couldn't pay back. He then used those real dollars to build an empire out of dying companies like Voyager and BlockFi. This led Jim Cramer to call him the new JP Morgan. That's weird. It's not like Jim Cramer to promote a billionaire con artist. SBF sold people cryptos like Bitcoin, or so they thought. What they really bought from SBF was an IOU. But as long as everyone didn't cash in their IOU at the same time, the scheme worked. Until it didn't. This other a-hole who hates SBF came along and engineered a bank run with some passive-aggressive tweets. It worked. SBF didn't have enough money to repay everyone at once, and now his customers have lost everything. He'll be happy to know that this is exactly how every bank in the world operates. So where did all the money go? He misappropriated $4 billion trying to save his failing hedge fund. Whoops, that's a felony. He spent $21 million on Super Bowl commercials, $5 million for the big guy, $40 million in campaign donations. I wonder what he wanted in return. And everyone who's pointing at this story and saying,
this is exactly why we need to regulate crypto.
Remember that SBF stole billions. That's already a crime. And he spent a lot of it on bribing politicians. Also a crime, in order to create a crypto monopoly for himself. Government regulations don't protect the customers. They protect the crooks. That's exactly what SBF was trying to do.
Found out that they listed perpetual futures trading 4 days ahead on ICP and 20 days ahead on Axie Infinity's Ronin network. This immediately raised red flags for me. Fact is, I knew very little about Sam FTX Alameda Research at the time. I started kind of looking into what Sam was investing his money into, and Sam had been dumping hundreds of millions of dollars into the Solana blockchain and ecosystem. And with all due respect to the Solana blockchain, its leadership, its ecosystem, the community, the launch of the internet computer, which is a far superior blockchain, was very much a direct threat to Sam's investments. And I started to think that maybe FTX didn't offer spot tokens on their exchange because if their users started buying the tokens, it would interfere with their perpetual futures market manipulation scheme. The next question I had, why Ronin Network? I had to research what Axie Infinity and Ronin Network were.
Ronin Network at the time and Axie Infinity were absolutely killing it back in those days. They were at top of the game. They were the project that whenever you talked about NFTs, that they were brought up. So you would think that they would explode out of the gate on their IPO, not just completely just fall apart like that. It's unusual, and it might be. I mean, you could definitely say there circumstantial doubt was in my mind about certain things. But there's some pretty big circumstances there. And absolutely, they were a big competitor to Solana. And we're talking about a single chain dedicated to a single project that was outcompeting an entire ecosystem of NFTs. So for Sam Bankman to have an incentive to launch an attack on them, I mean, the motive is absolutely there.
Remember the shockwaves that went through the ICP community. I had people from Dfinity contacting me, asking for more information. There was a lot of excitement about this information that was coming to light. The problem was that since the broader cryptoverse still saw ICP as a scam, Sam Bankman as this golden boy, nobody cared outside of the ICP ecosystem. They just didn't. At that time, I was extremely frustrated because I felt like I had the smoking gun to a murder trial and they would not let me admit it as evidence. Months go by and my investigative research on FTX really never gained too much traction outside of the ICP ecosystem. But one day I'm sitting around and I'm watching Ben Armstrong.
I'm going to do a review on ICP and do a fair shake. Well, coincidentally, what if their bad reputation is because of Sam Bankman-Fried? Got a lot of evidence to suggest that there was an orchestrated plan to crush ICP. I got someone last night randomly sent me message after message with chart after chart with proof over proof. Now we've got to verify all this to be real and authentic before we do it. We're doing that today. And then we're going to record that video today. And that video is going to come out on Saturday. I was given information, charts, and analysis from a reliable source who wants to stay anonymous for the purpose of this video. But me, my research team, and my fact checkers, well, we've checked this out, and the story is legit. FTX has been pumping up the price of tokens prior to their launch, and then dumping on retail investors and key projects in the space. Their targets so far, Axie Infinity and ICP.
I can remember after Ben's live stream, I jumped out of my office chair screaming and cheering. Finally, the word has been sent out to a massive audience thanks to Ben. And to Ben's